Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I know it's been a while since I've reviewed the Obelisk Gate, but I've been busy reading the final Expanse book and Gone with the Wind and other stuff. So it's kind of been on the back burner for a while, but I finally got around to reading The Stone Sky, book 3 in the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. And I think this series ends on a pretty good note. Some parts in the middle definitely dragged on a bit, but I think the ending was good. I just feel like it was a little bit too complicated for my tiny brain. So the book starts with everybody in Castrima all moving north because Renanus, they kind of destroyed the geode, and Essun has been in a coma since the end of the last book. So she finally wakes up, and oh my god, my arm is turning to stone. It's very, the way Jemisin describes it, it's very grotesque, painful, and she finds out that the moon is on its way over and very close to the Earth. And if it doesn't go back to normal, then the fifth seasons would keep on going. So she has to stop the moon from going away. And this book is told from the perspective of three different characters. All of them are actually told by Hoa, but they're in like different perspectives. So um, Hoa is in first person, Asun's in second person, and Nasun is in third person, which is a nice way to tell like who's who. And Nasun is recovering from using the obelisk to turn her father to stone and kill him, and she's going through like a lot of mental turmoil here. And she wants to destroy the Earth because she's mad. She's not my favorite character out of the main three. I think she's my least favorite. Well, she wants to use the obelisk gate to collide the moon and the Earth and destroy both of them. And Safa's gonna help her reach the other obelisk gate. And Esun learns that Nasun wants to do this and is like, no, that's not a good idea because he'd like kill, that's not a good idea. And she wants to find Nasun. And she actually learns that she's pregnant um, because she had started a relationship with somebody from her old com. And Ho was like, hey, I could take you guys there by going through the center of the earth. Like that bit, going to do the center of the earth. But they're attacked by this rival faction, and Lorna is killed. So no more Lorna Dunes for us. So Nasun and Safa get to Antarctica. Well, there's like this city that's kind of been destroyed because Safa's like, there's a way to get to Core Point here. So they find this transportation place system by going directly through the center of the planet. That's actually the same way that Asun is going. And I think it's neat because we find out that the planet Earth is a living planet, kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Chris Pratt's dad. And this is actually neat because it's been foreshadowed earlier in the other novels by everybody saying evil Earth. Well, it turns out the Earth is actually evil, so that was very clever. Great job, Jemisin. I know what you're doing. So Earth wants to destroy humanity because it blames them for pushing the moon away, and that the Earth's energy has fueled like the Guardians somehow. We also figure out about Hola's backstory by having the Sil Analgist chapters. And we see that Hoa and all of the other Stone Eaters have been created in a lab by scientists to be like have heightened awareness of magic, and they're kind of like the DNA is based on um, a minority of people who have been subjugated in the past. That's something else I like about these books is that they have like themes of racial injustice, but they're not like shoved down your throat. It's more subtle, and you could you could look at the themes, but if you don't really have to get the story, you can just enjoy a good fantasy trilogy. It's either way. It's up to the reader to see what type of story they want to read. Well, anyway, the people who the Stone Needles were based on, we find out that like they're basically human batteries, and they're like stuck to the obelisks to make them magic. And it's basically like that Rick and Morty episode where there's like hundreds of Mortys like used as human battery. It's basically the same thing. And Hoa and others are able to reverse it and destroy the city of So Anagist because they're like, this isn't right. We didn't sign up for this. And Evil Earth finds out about this and tries to melt the crust of the Earth. And Hoa and the others are like, okay, guess we can't let that happen. So they're able to revolt it, but they're transformed into like stone needles. And the moon is kind of thrust away into like a big higher orbit. And this imbalance, plus like the obelisks going crazy, is this kind of turns the place into an apocalypse, which starts the fifth season. Hey, that's the title of the first book. Whoa. So while I like Horace chapters, I thought they were like a bit exposition heavy. Could have been trimmed down a bit because I was just really confused. But then again, I have a small monkey brain, so maybe that's on me. So the Earth is able to kill Safa. Boo. Actually, Safa's not that good of a person anyway, so eh. It's kind of hard to like, think of Safa's morality because him now he's a good person, but because he lost all of his memories of doing very bad things. So it's like if you look at him as a whole, yeah, he's a bad person. But if you look at him after he got his memory wiped, I guess he's a good person. It's just like, I guess a man is the sum of his memories, as the doctor would say. And the Earth is able to kill Safa because they don't want her to destroy the world and the moon. And Nasun's like, no, I gotta save him. So she uses the gate to transform literally the entire planet into stone needles. And Esun arrives to stop Nasun, and she wants to like bring the Earth back, bring the moon back to the Earth, and end the seasons and save Nasun. But Nasun doesn't want to do this, so they have this like epic fight. It's very emotional. You could tell like it's been building up throughout the entire series. You can see that Asun, she's not a perfect model, but she really tried her best. And Asun realizes that she can't defeat Nasun, and she might as well just let her complete the task because she's worried that otherwise Nasun would die. So Asun releases control, and she's turned completely to stone. I turned to stone when you were gone. Like that ELO song. And Nasun is moved by this, and she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just I'll just bring the moon back into orbit anyway. And I like how like the conflict between them has been built, because Esun wasn't exactly the best mother. That's why Nasun wasn't exactly raised right, because they never really had a good manner of communication between them. And it's nice to see them agree, but it's kind of too late. But she agrees with her anyway. I don't know. It's kind of a bittersweet ending, I guess. And we get the epilogue, or the coda, as it's called. And it finds out that Hoa has been narrating the whole series, and I wasn't exactly surprised by this. I think I predicted in my book 2 video that maybe Esun loses her memory, and the whole series is Hoa telling her her memory. And I was right, so yay, Jacob. Yeah, yeah, Jacob. And she still doesn't have her memories back, but she kind of, comes out of the stone and she wants to make the world better. And Hoa's like, well, this is the same Asun I knew, because that's been Asun's mission statement the entire time to make the world a better place. And that's how the series ends on an uplifting note. Will the Earth be a better place? I don't know, but the point is that Asun is trying. So overall, I thought this was a pretty good book, a satisfying end of the series. I'm gonna give it a B because I think the series, like, it never had like a bad entry, but all the books were pretty consistently good. Nothing really like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever read. I didn't get that feeling like I did with The Song of Ice and Fire, but I still thought it was a very well told story. And N.K. Jemisin is a very like descriptive writer, unique when it came to the whole second person thing. So I wasn't afraid to make her characters suffer, but it never got like too dark. I had to stop reading because it depressed me. Definitely creative, with the whole like Earth, planet Earth being a living thing, and the magic system was pretty cool. And a main theme of the series was parentage, between Esun and Nasun, Hoa and the people who raised him, Nasun and Nasun's dad, Esun and her own parents was kind of mentioned a bit. So I think that's kind of the main theme of one of the main themes of it, and it's executed very well because they're all like very complicated relationships. And I think Jemison does a really good job at writing dialogue for the characters. They just, I don't know, it seems kind of natural for her. The second person narration style for Esun makes Esun's character seem detached, but like I feel like that was kind of the intention because he's been through like a lot of stuff. So he kind of has like, you know, um, mental health issues, which is kind of showed through the second person because it doesn't seem like she's all there in the head. There's different like subjects that here like if this world is so bad and there's so much genocide and oppression, does it even have a right to exist? And we all answered those like we all presented those questions, and it's kind of up to like the audience to think of the answers to those. So yeah, all in all, I thought it was a very solid series. I'm probably not gonna read any of the other books for like probably a very long time, just because I simply have like way too many books on my my read list. Like I'm planning on reading The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and Sherlock Holmes and Volkasigan Saga and the Cornwall Strike novels. So like it's gonna be a long time before I read whole other books. But you know, the fact that I do want to read them eventually shows how good these books are because of their fine writing. Makes me want to see more of them eventually. I think this big series would be a very good like TV show, because I think each book is kind of like not enough to fill a movie. Like maybe like each book could be a 6 episode season, That's how I'd adapt it if I was them. And I'd like to see that someday. I wonder who would be cast. Maybe my pick would probably be Thandie Newton as Esun. I think she'd be really good. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Click below and subscribe if you like my book reviews. In the meantime, I'll be doing videos on Better Call Saul, Doctor Who, classic movies like Singing in the Rain, This Is Us, but yeah, Sherlock Holmes, and yeah, so subscribe if you're interested in any of those. And I hope everybody out there has a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.